Hey guys, welcome to Bad Hombre Garage's home of half-started or half-finished projects. Hopefully today this is a pretty quick one, as I kind of need to make this project happen in just a short amount of time today. And rather than just jam it out real quick, I thought I'd share with you guys what I'm going to go through here because it might be useful to you. Okay, check it out. Here's what we have going on. So you can see a little bit of water leaking down there, and that is a problem, but it's not the problem now because I did the lazy way. I saw the water leaking. I thought maybe I can just give that bolt there a little tighten. And I did. We went from righty-tighty to righty-loosey right away. So that bolt is basically stripped out. And there's not a lot I can do about it. I tried a longer bolt that'll fit down in there and grab more threads. And that's kind of where we're at with it now. But you can see it's still kind of leaking and it needs fixed. So I'm going to go ahead and repair those threads. And I'm going to use a little helicoil system to get that done. It should be pretty quick and easy. You know, using one of these little kits here, the Fix-A-Thread kit. I've used them before. It works okay. But the way you do it is you got to drill out the hole to put the new threads in there. And, you know, problem here is I get my drill and it doesn't fit down in there. Now, this would be a great time for one of those, 90-degree drills. But I don't have one, so we're going to have to go about this a little bit different way. Should be pretty quick, but I think if I just unbolt the bolts for the intake manifold, I can pop the top of my intake off and then get all the access I need down in there to that bolt. That's good. I've had to do this before because, as you can see, my distributor is buried down there in the back. And anyway, the intake top has to come off to get the distributor in, and that's another story. I'm going to get busy putting this thing in the air, draining some fluid out of the radiator before it all runs down my intake. And I'll bring you guys back when I have some stuff unbolted, and we'll get into the meat of this, which is fixing those threads. Okay, here we are. This is what this mess looks like now, torn down. The intake came off real easy, lifted up, set it over there. Of course, I had to take the support bar off. It goes to the radiator. Dropped one of the nuts down into the tub of antifreeze, but it wouldn't be normal if we didn't do that. But this is where we stand right now. And if I can get this bad boy to focus, you can kind of see how those threads are all kind of just wiped out on that hole right there. That hole doesn't look a whole lot better, but they're still good enough. So what we're going to do now is we're going to get this kit and put it down in the hole and make it work. And the way this works, this is like a helicoil, Fix-A-Thread. You can get it at your auto parts store or whatever. This is basically a piece of wire that's wound into the spiral right here. On the inside are threads that take the bolt, like for example the bolt that I pulled out of there, that would thread right into there. And on the outside, these threads are the same size as this tap that comes with the kit. So what I need to do is go in there and drill that hole in the intake out so that I can use this tap, tap it out, and then we'll use this fancy little tool here, screw that in, boom, boom, boom. Then we're back to the original part of the project, which was seal up that neck so that it doesn't leak everywhere. Okay, well, here is the tap that we're going to use. And if you look at it, it says right on there, drill 25/64. So I dug through my drawer of crappy drill bits from Harbor Freight and found this guy, which is, you can kind of see in there somewhere, 25/64. We'll throw this guy on the drill. We'll go ahead and clean that hole out. Basically, all it's going to do is just kind of clean the threads off the outside of that hole. Here we go. I think that's it. Get my air hose. We'll blow the hole out and then we'll tap it. Okay, we got the hole all cleaned out now. Blown out. Shoot a little WD in there to lubricate everything. And then I'm just going to use this supplied tap. We're going to cut the threads in there with that. I'm not going to force it any further. I don't want to break the intake. But here you go. We'll run it down in here. You can see how this worked. Now you can see the threads look much better in that hole. Now we got to get the helicoil part, thread that in there, and we'll go from there. Okay, so what I've got going here is I just took the new threads and just started them in there, and I got this fancy tool that grabs the little tang down at the bottom, and I'm just threading it down in the hole. Threading it down in the hole, hoping that it takes all of it before I bottom out. Come on now. It's close. Get that last thread in. Oh, come on now. There it is. Okay, there. Okay. There we have it. Now what I got to do is I got to break that tang off. And it says to just stick this in sideways and sharply tap it down. It'll break it off. So I'm gonna go get my hammer and sharply tap that down. All right, well, the hard part of this job's over. Got new threads in there. Now I just need to get in there and scrape that up, clean it all up. And I was digging through my Boxo parts, and son of a gun, once you know what, I have this big, giant, fancy, multi-layered, whatever. I'm gonna put that on there. Hopefully it doesn't leak. I'm gonna put new hardware back on, and I'm gonna make sure I go ahead and use lock washers on it so that my bolts won't back off. And now I gotta button this whole thing back up, and I'll bring it back when we're ready to fire it off. Okay, well, man, that's it. She's all buttoned back up, braces in, hoses on, antifreeze put back in there, and yes, all I did was filter the antifreeze that drained out through a t-shirt, through a funnel back in. So it's cleaned. That stuff's expensive. Anyway, yeah, full of water and not leaking, so I'm gonna fire it up, give it the old smoke test, see if it starts leaking on us. But otherwise, man, I sure appreciate you guys following along, checking out this little project. Hopefully that's a good, fun one. Don't be afraid of messed up threads. There's lots of ways to fix them. I think that's the easiest way. So, hey, if you like what you saw, hit subscribe, share with a friend, follow along. I love building this community. I think it's almost 50 degrees out. So as soon as I clean up this mess, I'm going to take the little car for a spin. See you guys.